You've seen the headlines: coastal cities going underwater, superstorms ravaging crops, countries pushed over the edge by scorching heat waves. In the face of such looming disasters, it can be easy to feel overwhelmed, powerless even. After all, what good news about the climate ever makes the news? And yet, while much of the media focuses on the potential dangers of a warming world, behind the scenes, a quiet revolution is underway. From reforestation efforts across Africa to solar-powered villages in India, from ocean-cleaning robots in the Pacific to cutting-edge carbon capture tech in Scandinavia, real solutions to the climate crisis are taking shape. The question is, how do we get people to see them? This video was made possible by our supporters. You can read their names here. But if you don't see your name, you probably aren't one of our supporters. For this episode, we traveled to Denmark, which is working to remove carbon dioxide directly from the air and store it deep underground. To Nigeria, where innovators are harnessing solar power to electrify rural communities. And to Fiji, where local entrepreneurs are tackling the scourge of plastic pollution head-on. We'll also hear from experts who are developing ways to make the most vulnerable countries better prepared for the challenges ahead. But first, let's start with Denmark. Like many other countries, Denmark has pledged to become carbon neutral by 2050. To meet that goal, it must not only stop emitting greenhouse gases, but also remove some of the gases that have been released in the past. One way Denmark is doing this is through direct air capture and storage, or DAX. Technology that sucks carbon dioxide out of thin air and pumps it deep underground. One of the most promising DAX projects is being led by the Swiss-based company Climeworks in collaboration with Denmark's energy company Ørsted. In late 2022, they launched a pilot plant in the North Sea off the coast of the Danish island of Man. The facility uses giant fans to draw in air, which passes through special filters that trap carbon dioxide, before releasing the rest back into the atmosphere. Then, a nearby converted oil tanker sucks up the captured carbon dioxide and pumps it more than 2 kilometers below the surface of the seabed where it's permanently stored. Climeworks CEO Jan Koster told us that his company's technology can suck up to 4,000 tons of CO2 per day, which is equivalent to the emissions from about 800 cars. We really want to be a meaningful contributor to the fight against the climate crisis, he said. To do that, you need to have an economically viable solution at scale. That means delivering negative emissions at gigatons per year. While Climeworks works in Denmark, another company called Carbon Engineering is testing its own direct air capture technology in Canada. Its plant in the oil sands region of Alberta sucks carbon dioxide out of the air and then pumps it into underground rock formations for permanent storage. In addition, the company is also exploring ways to use the captured carbon dioxide to enhance oil recovery, meaning that the same pipelines that now carry away the pollution could soon be used to transport it back underground. These types of technologies will only grow more important as the world works to decarbonize. But they're not without their critics. Some worry that DAX will slow down the push to cut emissions, because countries can bank on future technologies to clean up their mess. Others worry that the high cost of DACs will divert money away from renewable energy. These concerns are valid. So it's critical that we find ways to make DAX more affordable. Fortunately, there are signs that this is already happening. In the United States, Carbon Engineering's oil sands facility cost an estimated $100 million to build. But the company says that its newest plant will cost less than half as much. Climeworks says that the price of its technology has dropped by up to 90% in recent years. If costs continue to fall, then DAX could play an increasingly important role in removing pollution from the sky. But we don't need new technologies to tackle every challenge. Sometimes it just takes a little creativity. Take the problem of deforestation, which accounts for nearly 1/4 of global greenhouse gas emissions. In many parts of the world, trees are chopped down for fuel, building materials, or farmland. But in Africa, a different problem dominates: illegal logging. That's why the nonprofit organization Global Trees partnered with local groups in the Eastern Arc Mountains of Tanzania to come up with an innovative solution. Working with local communities, the group identified areas with healthy soils and abundant rainfall, planted trees, and then handed over the land to the community. They set rules for how the land could be used, allowing people to harvest fruit and foliage from the trees, but banning them from cutting down the trunks. Once the trees reach maturity, The communities can harvest the timber and sell it on the open market, according to Global Trees. This approach has restored more than 30 million hectares of degraded land since 2016, sequestering more than 100 million tons of carbon dioxide. This kind of bottom-up approach to conservation is having an impact in other parts of Africa too. For example, in Nigeria, a country with a fast-growing population and limited access to electricity, solar power is changing lives as part of its energizing education program. Nigeria's Rural Electrification Agency has built solar-powered schools in more than 100 communities. These schools not only provide light for classrooms, but also power for computers, projectors, and other equipment. The idea is to provide students with access to modern technology so they can compete with those in wealthier countries. But the program has had an even bigger impact on the surrounding communities. Since each school is equipped with a solar panel system ranging from 5 to 25 kilowatts, they can also provide electricity to nearby homes and businesses after hours. The project is run in partnership with the MTN Foundation, a non-profit arm of the country's largest telecommunications company. President Danola AA Merchant told us that the program has electrified more than 10,000 homes and created dozens of jobs in rural communities. We want to help Nigeria achieve its renewable energy goals, while also improving the lives of people in underserved communities, he said. By providing access to solar power, we're helping people break out of poverty and empowering them to build a better future for themselves and their families. Solar power is also changing lives in Fiji, a small island nation in the South Pacific that's on the front lines of the climate crisis. Rising sea levels and extreme weather events are already causing major problems for the country's 300,000 people. But rather than waiting around for help, Fijians are taking matters into their own hands. In recent years, a growing number of entrepreneurs have started businesses focused on cleaning up plastic waste. One of the most successful is the company Pacific Recycling, which was founded in 2017 by two Fijian brothers. The company collects plastic waste from around the country, sorts it by type, and then sells it to manufacturers that use recycled materials. Pacific Recycling has grown rapidly in recent years and now employs more than 150 people. Its founders say that the company has kept more than 50 million plastic bottles out of landfills and incinerators. But it's not just about keeping the streets of Fiji clean. It's also about creating jobs and building a more sustainable economy. We want to show people that there is a better way to do business, says one of the brothers. We believe that we can make a profit while also doing good for the environment and the community. Of course, these kinds of grassroots efforts are only part of the solution. Some of the biggest impacts will require changes on the national level. And there are encouraging signs there too, for example in the United Arab Emirates. A group of volunteers has developed a national strategy for climate action. The plan includes a wide range of measures to reduce emissions, conserve water, and protect biodiversity. Perhaps most importantly, the plan calls for greater transparency and accountability from the government. The UAE is just one example. But similar efforts are underway around the world. In the face of the climate crisis, ordinary people are stepping up to demand action from their leaders. They're organizing protests, voting with their feet, and starting their own businesses. They're coming up with innovative ways to conserve resources and protect the environment. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the scale of the climate crisis. But it's important to remember that big problems are often solved by ordinary people working together. As we look to the future, it's important to keep this in mind. Yes, we need bold action from governments and corporations, but we also need to empower individuals to make a difference. Because when ordinary people work together, there is no problem we can't solve. This video was made possible by our supporters. If you want to see your name on the screen and support our mission, click the link in the description. Thank you for watching.